Hey, so in this video I'm going to be talking about the four rotator cuff muscles, its origin, its insertion, its action, and innervation. These are going to be the four uh, rotator cuff muscles: the supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, and subscapularis. A good way to remember them is with the acronym SITS. Alright, let's get started. So the four rotator cuff muscles are located in this superior view. In here, in the anterior side, we have the subscapularis. This is the supraspinatus. This is the infraspinatus. And lastly, on the lateral side, we see the teres minor. I'm going to show these four muscles once again in a different angle. This is going to be this one right here is going to be the anterior view, and we see here the subscapularis muscle there. In here is the supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor. Now I'm going to be talking about its origin, insertion, and later its action and nerve. But to do so, we got to review the some fragments or some landmarks of the bone, especially the scapula and humerus bone. Okay, so to start with the scapula, I really highlighted the important ones, which is going to be this supraspinatus fossa, the infraspinatus fossa, the lateral border. Those are the main ones in this angle, which is going to be the posterior view. But then we also have here in the anterior view the subscapular fossa. Okay, so that's an important thing to not forget. All right, and in the humerus we have the greater tubercle and the lesser tubercle. Again, two portions of the humerus that we're going to be looking at it again. So let's first talk about the origin and insertion of the supraspinatus. Its origin is the supraspinous fossa of scapula, and the greater tubercle of the humerus is its insertion. So if we look at the origin, it's going to be located right here at the supraspinous fossa, and we see that muscle is located right there. So that makes sense. And if we follow the trajectory of the muscle, it's going to be inserted at the greater tubercle. If you take a look at the bone, it's right there. Its action is going to be to assist the deltoid initiating the arm abduction. So arm abduction just means moving away. Abduct moves away. So if this were the arm, and you lift it up to the side so that it will look something like this. That's the motion of the arm. This first 15 degrees are going to be assisted by the supraspinatus muscle. Its nerve is going to be the suprascapular nerve. Its innervation. The infraspinatus muscle. In the infraspinatus muscle, we see that that's going to be located right here, we previously mentioned, and that makes sense with its origin being the infraspinous fossa, located right here in the posterior view. And its insertion is going to be the greater tubercle again. So it's going to be sharing the same insertion location. Its action is going to be the lateral rotation of the arm, and they're going to share the innervation, which is the suprascapular nerve. Then we have the teres minor. The teres minor is a little bit different. Its origin is going to be located at the lateral border of the scapula, but the insertion is going to be the same at the greater tubercle of the humerus. And its motion is going to be the same, or its motion and action is going to be the same with the infraspinatus, so they share the same action, which is the lateral rotation of the arm. However, the innervation is different. It's going to be the axillary nerve. Okay. So lastly, we have the subscapularis muscle. The subscapularis muscle is a little bit, it's not really part of the group if you think about it, because all of the other muscles are located in the posterior view, whereas the subscapularis is located in the anterior view. Remember that? We mentioned that it's going to be located in the anterior view. And its origin is going to be right at the subscapular fossa. And not just its origin, it's in the front side, but its insertion is the only of the rotator cuff muscles that is going to be at the lesser tubercle, located right here, a little bit more anterior than the greater tubercle, which is a little bit more lateral in this right humerus. And its action is going to be a medial rotation of the arm, yes, at the subscapular nerve. So those are the 4 rotator cuff muscles. I hope this was helpful.